Good morning, everybody. We are back out on another job. Today's a little bit of a different day and a different project, but we're out on a property that I have been out on several times before. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll recognize this property. So a relative of mine is one of the guys that, it's sort of like a hunting property. It's a hunting club, and a relative of mine is big out here, so they're trying to do a little project, but they had some issues, so they called me up to try to help them out. So let's take a look at what we got. All right, so I got the Mini here with the bucket, and you guys are familiar with my channel. I don't do a lot of digging work, I don't do a lot of excavation work, and today we're not really doing much excavating, where it's really more of a grading job. But so what they've got here is they've got this area here. You can see they've tilled it all up and they got it all broke up, and what they're trying to do is when it rains, this area holds a lot of water. It floods in here pretty good, and the ground kind of goes this way, and you can see they had a tractor in here, but it went down on them, and they're trying to build a berm here. And what they're going to do is kind of turn this into like a sort of impromptu duck impoundment. And what that is they're going to flood this with water, and then they're going to plant probably millet in here, and then flood it and keep it flooded. And then when duck season comes, the ducks will come in here and feed, and you hunt. So this berm is designed to kind of hold this water through here. And what I'm gonna do, they don't need this berm to be very tall. It only needs to be about 2 feet or so, if that. But they want to connect it with that big berm over there. That's a big pile of dirt over there that when they had a guy come in a few years ago with a dozer and strip that off, and he piled everything there. So I'm gonna push this back just a little bit to make that a straight line into that berm, and then we're just gonna come through here with the Mini and just kind of break all this up and rake it up, and then take that material and just scrape it back this way and build this berm up all the way around to that oak tree right there. So that's pretty much the job. And something different, figured I'd come out here and just kind of mostly time lapse this out, and we'll see what it looks like when it gets done. This berm doesn't have to be anything perfect. Like I said, it's not got to be tall, it's just got to be something tall enough to hold the water in here. And you can see they've got most of what we got around here is sand, but they got this good nice clay in here, so this should hold water pretty good. So let's get to digging. Well, pushing that berm up didn't take very long. The dozer blade on the Mini made quick work of that. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do that, but I had to push this berm back a little bit, starting right about there, to re-angle it to make it work into this pile. And as I started pushing it, I was like, as I started moving along, I was like, well, I think I can just kind of scrape this down a little bit and get enough there. If I come back far enough, get enough for my berm without, you know, digging a hole. They don't want a ditch right here. They just want it to kind of swale down to this berm. And this is going to hold water. They only need like a foot of water in here. And this is going to be open on the front side, so it's not going to be like a pond. So there's not going to be a lot of water pressure up against this berm. So it shouldn't leak. It shouldn't hold it shouldn't leak. It should hold water just fine. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start working my way back around, and I'm going to break this ground up for them. Just take the teeth through here and break all this up, and kind of till it up for them. And then I'll kind of start packing this berm down a little bit just to make sure that doesn't happen, and just firm it up a little bit. But it should be fine. There's some nice clay in here, and it's only gonna be holding about a foot, so there's not gonna be a lot of water pressure pushing against it. And also we're kind of down into the dirt, so the actual grade of the ground is probably right in there somewhere anyway, so you're up against virgin ground as well. So we should be good with that. So I'm gonna go and start working my way back around, and hopefully this shouldn't take too long. little mid-job progress report here. So the client just showed up, and what we've got done so far to about right here or so, to them, in their words, looks effing perfect. So if you want to know their thoughts about it, that's that. So they're very happy so far. So once I got to here, that's where they had kind of stopped pushing up with the berm, with their equipment. So I went ahead and just took the Mini, pushed all that up right there, and I'm basically going to come back around and basically do the same thing I did all the way up to here. We're going to kind of just scrape this, break it up, and then I'm going to just pack and compact that, form it, make it a nice berm, and this will be done. So probably another hour, hour and a half to do that, and we'll be out of here. Okay folks, we are done. Just got it tied up right next to that tree, and that's that. So took a little longer than I expected. I was thinking 4 to 5 hours, took about 7, right at 7 hours. And I didn't even stop for lunch, just went right on through. They the client brought a pipe, and we put that in really quick, and so they'll put an elbow on that on this side of it, and that'll either be the overflow, or if they want to drain it dry, they can just take the elbow off, and then it'll just, that's the low end right there. So yeah, turned out nice. They're super happy with it, super duper happy, especially considering it was kind of an emergency thing. He texted me on Sunday, and I'm here on Tuesday, so they were happy that I was able to get out here and get it done so quickly as well. But yeah, that looks good all the way back around. So if they're happy, I'm happy, and they seem to be ecstatic with it. And I think it's going to hold water. I don't think it's going to leak. They only need it to flood up about a foot or less, you know, and it's not going to be holding water all the way around. So there shouldn't be, like I said, too much pressure against the side of it, since it'll be open back here on this back side. But yeah, that'll work nice. And it doesn't have a channel and everything. I just kind of scraped all this, you know, to get the amount of dirt that I needed, you know, and they can come back through here, till this up, and there won't be like a, you know, a real hard swale or channel there next to the ditch that'll hold water. This all should just flood nice and evenly for the most part. So that'll work nice. So, all right, grab the tripod here. I tried to time lapse as much of this as I could, but I think I ran out of footage on the SD card. But we got a good bit. I got about 4.5, 5 hours of footage out here, so that'll make for a good time lapse. It'll be fun to watch that. I don't do much dirt work, and but this was fun. This was a cool project. I always like doing dirt work. I gotta fix the tooth on that bucket though, but other than that, looking good. All right, I'm gonna load her up. I'm out of here. Check you guys later. Bye everybody.